Welcome to my $1 million private reptile zoo, part 2. All right, first things first, let's head on into the backyard. We're gonna show you guys the animals. We got crocodiles, we got venomous snakes, we got mammals, we got birds, we got all kinds of stuff here on the property. Now, off to my right is my baby crocodile area. Then off to my left in that shed is the venomous snake building. But before we get to those reptiles, let's show you some mammals. So there's been a lot of changes since our last video. Now these cages have gotten a full makeover, an entire facelift. This used to be all wood. Now we put this vinyl flooring on top and we trimmed it out with aluminum that we're gonna be painting. So we have synthetic tiki thatch on top that helps this cage stay nice and cool in the Florida sun. We have the black wire, we have the eucalyptus, the vinyl wood, the aluminum, and then the aluminum doors. Now these aluminum doors are so good because they're extremely light. As you can see, this door opens with ease and never warps like wood does. So first things first, let's jump in here with Nala, my African Genet. We're in the African Genet enclosure. African Genets are mainly arboreal. That's why we have all these sticks and branches going up to the roof. So she'll go on the ground, jump up here, go all the way in the rafters, hide in there. And a couple new changes we've actually made to this enclosure. If you look over here, she has a little hideout box. So if she ever wants to hide, she'll go in this box. Now we have her litter box down below. She's actually litter box trained, so she goes potty in there. And then for meals, we just do mice. We do a Missouri chow just like this. And we also do chicken hearts, chicken gizzards, things like that. But this right here is Nala, the African Genet. Look at how cute she is. Like a little jaguar. Now, believe it or not, this is actually a leopard's favorite meal in Africa. Now, leopards are known to climb to the tops of the trees, chasing genets just like this. Now, most of the genets you'll see are actually common genets. Nala is actually a large spotted genet, so her spots are a little bit larger and she gets a little bit bigger. But she is just one of the friendliest, cutest little creatures. And if you go ahead and you scratch her belly, she'll nibble on you. And they're really cool. They're just like cats. If you drop them, they always land on their feet. Just like that. But super cool, the African Genet. These cages are constantly getting upgrades, especially in the Florida sun and rain. The wood erodes, so we're figuring out ways to make these cages last forever. But that right there is Nala, the large spotted Genet. She likes to nibble just like a puppy, but a super friendly animal. She was actually raised inside, so she's very nice. All right, before we leave Nala, we're gonna give her her dinner, which is 3 adult mice, a little bit of chicken hearts, and she's got her Missouri chow in there as well. So we're just going to put it right there, and Nala will eat that over the next hour. All the cages are locked and secured here. We also have Ring cameras, gates, all different kinds of stuff to keep the animal safe. The next animal we're going to see is the Kookaburra, the laughing Kookaburra to be exact. Now this Kookaburra gets 2 adult mice. Kookaburras are awesome. They're native to Australia. They're known for singing and stealing meat right off the barbecue. So this right here is Kodak, the Kookaburra. We'll try to get him to sing here in a second. Now this Kookaburra is like my own personal rooster right outside my window. Every single morning at 7 in the morning, this Kookaburra likes to sing. He's still very young. He's only about 3 months old, so he isn't singing too much. He's just starting to learn how to sing, but soon I'll be able to replicate the sound and make him sing on command. But this guy loves to eat his mice, so let's throw him some mice. And I mean literally throw him some mice and watch him eat. All right guys, this is the Kookaburra enclosure. As you can see, we got perches at different heights. We got perches down low, perches up high, perches in the corner that are a little bit softer. But for the most part, you actually want these rough perches. It's actually a lot better for the Kookaburra's feet. And as you can see, Kodak already sees his mice. And watch this. Kodak will actually catch this mouse in midair. You want some? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Loves playing catch with his mice. Right here is his water bowl. These guys love to take bird baths. They don't drink much, but they do love to bathe in fresh water. Now the second mouse, we always wet it. That way he can get it down easier. First one goes down easy. Second one's a little bit harder. All right, we'll give this one to you nice and easy. There you go, buddy. They have super strong beaks. Now what kookaburras will do in the wild, they'll actually grab their prey and they will just smash it against a tree. So sometimes when I give him that mouse, he'll just smash it against the wood, and that's their way of killing the prey. Now kookaburras are known to eat tons of snakes out there in Australia, and they're actually known to swoop down while you're cooking on your barbecue and take the meat right off of your barbecue. But as he ages, he's going to get a beautiful blue stripe on his wing, and his tail feathers are going to get nice brown and why. Before we move on to the snake room, I'm going to show you guys the attention to detail we've done here at my facility. These are basically our picture platforms. You can see we trimmed them out. Last time we didn't have this. This is the Genet, and over here is the Kookaburra. That's that nice blue stripe down the wing I was just telling you about. So we got signs for all the animals here. Tons and tons of eucalyptus. Off to my right, we have an elevated deck that we built. When I got the property, this was nothing but grass. We put in the pavers, the cages, the decks, pretty much everything besides this giant oak tree. Now coming on to the back, we have these 4 benches. When we start doing tours, you'll be able to come here, sit down, have lunch, hang out. And over here is the latest and greatest cage. Now this cage, we haven't decided what we're gonna put in yet, but I'm thinking maybe a sloth, maybe a lemur, maybe a fox, something along those lines. If you guys have any good ideas of what animal we could put inside that cage, comment it down below. This is the newest and the largest cage. As you can see, we gave it a nice facelift too. With that vinyl flooring, we just painted these doors. We got a ring camera right above, and we're actually gonna have cameras inside of all these cages so you guys can actually view these animals 24/7 while you're at home. And walking into this cage, as you can see, we got some lights, we got LED lighting, tin roof, we got irrigation for water bowls down below. This is a deck, and this right here is 9-gauge panel. This is some of the thickest panel you can buy. This is actually what tiger keepers use. So this right here can hold in a tiger, so I think it can hold in a lemur or something like that. But this cage is pretty darn big. It's like 25 foot long. And we got room for maybe 1-2 more large cages out here in the back. You can see this is where my son plays, but we're going to do one more giant cage right along the back and maybe one more over here as well. All right guys, and another exciting addition we've made just in the past couple months is this new place over here. So as you can see, we have another giant shade structure. This is a tin shade structure, and if you look at these platforms, we built these are actually going to be for fish tanks. So we're going to have giant fish tanks. This is going to be one that's going to go down here, and it's actually going to curve around, and it's going to be one giant fish tank. I'm thinking Everglades theme. We're going to do baby gators, native fish, native plants, and then something over here. We got a spot for 2 more tanks, maybe a cichlid tank, maybe a saltwater. I don't know yet, but this right here is going to be the fish area. So you're going to be able to learn about native fish, invasive fish, and even some other exotics. And this right here is where all the filtration and supplies are gonna go, right behind these tanks. All right guys, behind the fish tanks, we have our tortoises. Now the last video, we actually only had 1 tortoise. Now these enclosures got a little bit of an upgrade. So if you look over here, this right here is Speedy, our African sulcata. We made him a nice tin roof so he can stay out of the rain and in the shade. Now I want to show you guys something. This right here is how you tell a male or a female tortoise. A male is going to have a concave shell, and a female's is going to be flat. Now look at this guy right here. Ooh, you see that big cave on the bottom of his shell? That's how we can tell this is a male sulcata tortoise. So this right here is Speedy. He's our newest rescue. We don't go out and buy sulcatas. There's so many adult sulcatas that need homes, so we provided 2 nice little homes for ours. And then over here we have Sparky. Sparky is a much larger African spur-thigh tortoise. You can see him eating his hay. Now, a lot of people think they're going to eat fruits and vegetables all day long. Fruits are actually not so good for these tortoises. It contains too much sugar. These guys primarily need to be eating hay. It's closest to what they would be eating in the wild. And this guy, Sparky right here, is a rescue. As you can see, he's got a little bit of jaw issues, some flared out jaw lines. So we're giving him the right diet, the right space. And this guy is doing awesome. And if you follow me, we have a lot of animals, and it's a lot of food. So this right here is basically the feed room. So when we get USDA to come out, you need to have a feed kitchen. So in here is kind of like an overflow snake room. So we're gonna have snakes in here. We just installed a mini split AC. We got our sinks, we got our fridges, and we got our freezers. Now this room is really new, so we're still working on getting it set up. But we got mice, we got lettuce, we got chicken hearts, Missouri chow, everything we need to run this little mini zoo. All right guys, right now we're gonna take a look at our little crocodilian collection, but before that, I wanna show you our little tortoise run. Right now we don't have any tortoises, but when we get some babies, some small redfoots, some radiateds, this is exactly where these guys are gonna grow up, and this little tortoise run right here. And over off to my left is the crocodilian area. We just took the lock off, but this is heavily secured. We got ring cameras all the way around, and this is basically a fortress. So the crocodilian area we completely redid. Come in here, I'll show you guys. All right, first things first, we had 36 baby Nile crocodiles hatch, and I'll show you them right now. Ooh, look at that. A ton of baby Nile crocodiles. Look at these. They are so cute. So we got 36 of these cute little baby Nile crocodiles, which is the world's 3rd largest species of crocodile, and they're known to be man-eaters. So this is just a little grow-out tub. Most of these are gonna get relocated to other sanctuaries in Florida. A couple are going to some of my buddies. And of course, we're gonna keep a couple to grow out. Now, if you look at my tubs, they look much different from last time. Before we had wooden tops and very, very crappy mesh. Now we have 9-gauge mesh, truck bed coated, and we have this composite wood. Now this stuff does awesome. It never warps. It stays really, really good. So we got the gator, we got the American crocodile, we got the smooth fronted caiman, we got the Nile crocodile in here, and we have the broad snouted caiman. So let's go ahead and let's pull one of these crocodiles out. Now I forgot to mention, but we have drains in all these tubs. So we hit a valve, all these tubs will drain at once. And if you look here, we have outlets. So we can actually fill these tubs up. Every single tub will get filled at the same time with little overflow drains right here. So if it rains, these tubs never flood, they just overflow. And right here is my American gator. Oh, now this gator, I actually raised from a little baby, and he is definitely not a baby anymore. This guy is getting close to 4 foot long. I literally got him when he was a tiny little baby hatchling. And now he is fired up, ready to bite you. This guy will easily take a couple fingers right off your hand. Now, American alligators are native to Florida. You will find them all throughout the state of Florida. We have millions of alligators. And if you look inside that mouth, you'll see 80 teeth, 40 on the top, 40 on the bottom, and that giant big tongue. Now, this guy has gotten really, really big. At this property, I only have under 4 foot crocodilians because I have 5 acres where I keep all the big guys. So everyone here is basically just growing out, getting ready for their larger tubs. So this right here is my beautiful American alligator that is about ready to go inside a pit. And you can see he just got one little tooth in my finger. They'll get you quick. All right, guys, now we're gonna pull out the largest crocodilian at my facility. This was actually my first crocodile I got many, many years ago, and he has slowly been growing. He's definitely right at 4 foot. Oh, all right, I got it. This right here, is Sawbeck, the Nile crocodile. This is actually offspring from my adult pair. One of the first Nile crocodiles I got, and this is why they're such bad pets, because you buy them when they're a little baby, and in just a couple years, they're nice and big like this. But Sawbeck is pure muscle. She actually bit me a couple years ago, and it was not a good bite. But this right here is another Nile crocodile. They're one of the largest and the heaviest crocodile out of all the crocodile species. Now, crocodiles are very unique because they're much stronger, much more ferocious, and much faster than an alligator. Alligators have pressure receptors on their head. Crocodiles have pressure receptors all the way to the tip of their tail. So they're much, much more sensitive. You gotta be very, very careful because this crocodile will death roll, he'll thrash, and he'll bite you in the split of a second. But look at that guy. Super, super beautiful. It's a very overcast day out, so his colors aren't too nice. But on a very sunny day, this guy lightens up very, very nice. All right, guys, let's lock this up and let's go check out the largest snakes on this property. Now, coming through here, we have the main driveway. We got the Polaris Ranger for all of our work needs when we're moving rocks and big animals around. The driveway, we just sealed it. Like I said, when we got this property, it was nothing but grass. We got tiki huts going up. We just put up some shade cloths. Then we have Cypress Pond Preserve, one of my favorite little spots on the property. Now this is basically its own living ecosystem. So we got cypress trees over here. We got mangrove tree off to the right. We got snapping turtles, regular turtles. We got bass. We got all different kinds of animals inside of this pond. So this is the dock. When we got the house, there was no dock. We actually installed the dock. Me and my buddy Patrick, we threw up this tiki hut. So after a long days of work, we'll hang out here, have some drinks, just relax after taking care of the animals. And then we have 4 more cages over here. Now all these cages are mainly going to be for reptiles because they're closer to the street. We had some croc monitors, we got rid of those. We had the Genet and one, we moved her to the back. So right now we just have 3 boas. As you can see, we got this concrete screening down. We're actually going to put pavers right here. This right here is the boa enclosure. So a little bit of an upgrade, just like the other cages. We added the vinyl, we added the aluminum, and we're going to do a couple more things to this cage. All right, let's get in this boa cage and pull out the biggest one. As you can see, we did a little bit of upgrading. We added these basically snake hides right here. So we have a snake hide up top, a snake hide down below, and we have the automatic water bowl off to my left. Over here, we should have all 3 snakes inside of here. Look at that. All 3 of the boas hanging out. You got to be careful because they will bite. That little one is actually the feistiest. The biggest one is the chillest. Now, I was going to pull her out, but I'll tell you what, I don't really want to reach my hand in there, especially with that little guy. He looks pretty darn hungry. But look at all three of those boas. Just hanging out. Now they love to stay together. They got that warm body heat of each other to keep them warm. So we're just gonna close this up and move on to the venomous snake room. But we're definitely gonna be adding a few more animals. I wanna get some more croc monitors we're gonna put in here. The boas are right here. They got their plaque. And then we're probably gonna get like a little coati. We'll probably start them out in this cage over here. These are great grow out cages. If you get small mammals, they can grow up in here for a few months before you transfer them to a larger cage. And over here, we have more seating for guests. So if you look over there, we got some concrete benches with some umbrellas. We got the crocodile statue getting nice and overgrown right here. And then off to the right side, we got some beautiful concrete picnic tables donated by Matthew's Brewery. So you can see we got a bench, and this is like a Japanese concrete table. So plenty of seating for people to come hang out, sit down, and eat lunch. Now, even when it comes to plants, we planted certain plants like this fire bush. Now, this actually attracts hummingbirds. So throughout the year, we'll see a bunch of hummingbirds coming and sucking on these little fire bushes. So everything down to the plants have been strategically placed here to welcome native wildlife. All right, guys, now it's time for the venomous snake building. All right, come on inside. This right here is my pride and joy. We've slowly been working on the room. It probably looks a little bit different than the last time you saw it. So we got all these pictures hung up over here. This is the picture wall with the green background. Then we have our new cages right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cages. We're probably gonna have around 16, 17 of these black cages. These are the best. Then we added the LED hex lights up above. We have our other grass wall, our new mini split. So everything you see here, we're basically gonna be doing on this wall. So it'll be cages, arboreal cages, and then behind over here, this is gonna be like our cleaning prep station with a stainless steel table. If we need to pin venomous snakes, we can pin them. But you guys are lucky because in today's video, we're actually gonna be feeding these venomous snakes. Now, first things first, we're gonna start off with these hot rats. And my Bushmaster and my Mengshan Viper only like to eat super hot rats because they got heat pits. So we're gonna feed these guys first. All right, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and feed my black-headed Bushmaster neck and neck with the Mengshan Viper on rarest venomous snakes in the world. Now there's only a small pocket of these guys in the rainforest of Costa Rica. So one small little place in Costa Rica carries the black-headed Bushmaster. And they get that name because they have that beautiful solid black head. But these are pit vipers. So he can see this rat. This rat is glowing red, nice and hot. And you can see it got his attention. And bam, smashes that rat right there. Now, Bushmasters don't need to eat too much. Now, there are species that really stays pretty cold, so they don't rely on heat to digest. So you don't want to feed your Bushmaster too much. Now, the Mengshan Viper we have is going into shed, so he might not eat, but let's give it a shot. Oh, you can see he's deep, deep in blue. Now, this snake is typically green, but he's all the way blue. Now, sometimes they will eat and shed. So we're just gonna give it a shot, bug him a little bit. And I'll tell you what, I'm not even gonna try. He's just too deep in shed. I'm not gonna try. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some water. Now, typically I wouldn't mist my Mengshan enclosure down, but he's deep in shed. So we want a lot of humidity, so we're just gonna go crazy. Not too crazy, but we're gonna add a lot of water. This Reptile chip holds water very, very well. So we're just gonna go moisten that down. And that should raise the humidity and help this Mengshan Viper shed. Now, the last thing you want with the venomous snake is your venomous snake getting stuck shed, because then it's like 10 times more dangerous. Then you gotta go in there, you gotta pin the snake, remove an eye cap, soak them, whatnot. But this right here is one of the most beautiful venomous snakes in my collection. This right here is a blue insularis, the Komodo Island pit viper, found on the same island as the Komodo dragon. Now, these snakes are some of the most beautiful snakes ever. He's a great eater. Now watch it. Oop, taking a little strike. That's why you got to be careful and why I'm using tongs. This is a super bitey snake. There you see, zoom in on that. You can see his two fangs, one on the right, one on the left, injecting venom into that rat. Now, if this rat was alive, it would help kill it. But also what that venom's doing is it's going into that rat and it's gonna help break down and decompose that flesh. And it's gonna help that snake digest that rat much, much easier. So we're gonna lock that up. That's the blue insularis. The next snake we're gonna feed right here, this is my puff adder baboon viper hybrid, known to be the only one in the United States. Now, he just shed, so he's got that beautiful, beautiful coloration. And this guy's also a crazy eater. Let's see. He's been eating a lot, so we're just gonna give him one small rat. Let's see, come here. Oh, you missed it. There you go. Look, insane eater. Venom right there. We got venom on the tongs. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna wipe down these tongs and move on to the next snake. All right guys, now you know I've gone through a lot of snakes. I've had so many different snakes over the years, and you can tell a few of them I've had for a very, very long time. So the blue and Solaris I've had for a very, very long time. My Gaboon Viper I've had for a very, very long time. But I'm slowly evolving, right? So this is a collection. Not every snake you get, you have to keep forever, as long as you can find it a good home. So right now I have what I truly like, what I truly enjoy. Now these right here, come around to the side of me, these are Moorish Vipers. Now they don't look like much, but I've talked about these snakes a lot. These snakes get absolutely huge. These Vipers in captivity can get from 7 to 8 foot long. They get absolutely massive. Whoa. Now that right there is the female. Now these guys are proven breeders, and we're gonna go ahead and feed the male. Now I'll tell you what, the male looks like he's deep in shed, so I don't know if he's gonna eat either. Now I can see that male way in the back. Now I'm not gonna reach over because this female will bite me right in the hand. So I'm just gonna toss that rat. He probably won't eat it because he's in shed, but hey, it's worth a shot. But that right there is the Moorish Vipers. I'll be honest, they're really, really cool when they're large, but I'm not really a fan of them. Now, I've had them for probably 6 months, and I'll probably end up selling that pair of Moorish Vipers. The good thing is, you know, they're proven breeders. They were just breeding. She laid a couple slugs because I didn't get her cold enough. Where they're from in Africa is North Africa. It gets super, super cold. So if you want to breed Moorish Vipers, you have to cool them down in the winter. Really, really cold if you want them to have viable eggs. But this right here is the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake, an absolute tank. One of the craziest eaters I have. Let's see if we can get her to come out. This is a girl. Now this is a pit viper as well. You can see they have nostrils, and then they have those 2 little heat pits, which you can see on camera very, very well. And this, look, crazy rattlesnake. There you go, right there, girl. Beautiful silver eyes.
She's pissed.
Yeah. Albino Western Diamondback. She got it. A lot of the times with venomous snakes, if they bite the rat, just drop it in. That's what they do in the wild. They don't bite and hold. Some species, like Bushmasters, will. Gaboon Vipers will bite and hold. But a lot of snakes, like rattlesnakes, will bite that prey. They'll let the prey go off, die on its own. They'll follow that scent trail, and then they'll grab it. So you don't want to force the food upon them too much if they don't want to grab it right off the bat. Now this Gaboon Viper, typically snakes will get super blue like that Mengshank Viper, then the blue clears up. Now the Gaboon Viper is in that stage, so he's literally about to shed like any second, but he never refuses a meal, so let's get him a big rat. Here we go, we got a hairless rat that probably has a little bit less calcium, but that's okay for the Gaboon Viper. Oh my gosh, look at that. Like I said, cleared up from that blue, so he's definitely gonna eat. When they have blue over their eyes, they can't see much, they don't want to. But of course, I knew that Gaboon Viper was going to eat. Look how he bites that rat and just keeps his head all postured up. Zoom in nice and tight. What a beautiful snake. All right, we got one last snake we're going to be feeding. Yeah, everything in my collection right now, I am not going to sell, and I will never sell. The only thing I'm going to sell is this Moorish Vipers, but this Tizabcan I'm going to keep for sure. I plan on getting a Gabino hybrid, which is a Rhino Viper and a Gaboon Viper hybrid. I plan on getting some Cape Cobras, a lot more Cobras. Right now I actually only have Vipers, which is pretty crazy. I'm not getting rid of any of the Vipers. I'm just going to start getting new Cobras. A nice little medium rat for the Tizabcan rattlesnake. One of the most beautiful underrated rattlesnakes. Look at the reds on him. It's hard to find a rattlesnake with colors like this. Now a lot of Tizabcans don't even have that red. So when you find one with that beautiful red, you better grab them quick because you're not going to find another, especially an adult like this. All right, guys, that is the end of today's video. Don't forget, subscribe to Stone's World and follow me on Instagram, Stone Untamed. We'll see you on the next one.